So you finally got your license. And the next step in life, baby daddy. But there's this little thing in the middle you gotta pick up first. It's your first whip. Now you need to understand, the first car will literally determine how the rest of your life goes. It will determine the skin color of your babies. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, okay? It may be car culture appropriation, but I've been to all kinds of car meets, okay? And in some, the girls are stroking your golf clubs in the trunk, okay? And others, they're stroking the paddle shifters. I can't even make this up. You can't even do it. Today we're going over the best cars you can purchase as your first car in 2023. Now I'm going to be taking into account the price. You know, we want to keep it student budget. We're also going to be taking into account the reliability, but most importantly, it's got to be super fun to drive and it's got to give you a solid foundation for the rest of your life. So the first car on this list, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at the Volkswagen. I'm going to call it the Volkswagen GTI 2018, which is just about $20,000. But I mean, fair warning, if I see you running around in this, I will probably flip you off for no apparent reason at all. This car is super fun with 220 horsepower coming from a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and a 0 to 60 in about 6.4 seconds, which is not bad at all. All that's to say the driving experience is not bad. Coupled with some fantastic brakes and very responsive and predictable steering, the GTI will probably get you where you need to go. More than that, it comes in both a 6-speed manual and an automatic, and honestly, the automatic isn't that bad. I had the pleasure of trying it out on the I-95 like a summer ago, and it's very responsive, so no shame in that. The interior, it's simple, very well built, like almost any other Volkswagen, and that's important. Because one of the biggest pet peeves are interiors that rattle and shake and you hear different kinds of sounds. This is well built, so even if you're buying used models from a few years back, it's still to be in pretty good shape. The model also comes with leather seats and they're heated front seats as standard. Plus, there's quite a bit of cargo space, and with a little bit of creativity, who knows what could be mixing up in the back, you know what I mean? We're no strangers to what I'm trying to say is it's flat, okay? So if you wanna, you know, I don't know, lay down in the back, and that's not weird. Car guys, no, okay? Sometimes you just hop out of the driver's seat, you go to the back seats, and you know, you just lay down there, just in some garage in the city, listening to the noises of the traffic and people staring at the roof of your car. You know, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend doing so. One more thing to note, the media system is really well integrated with all your phones and whatnot, but it's kind of slow. Like, it's slow response. One of those things you just kind of get used to, or not. Okay, but wait, maybe that's just too much luxury for you and you're afraid you'll sin. You just want the bare basics, the bare basic racing machine that's driver oriented. I got you. The next car on this list is the Mazda MX-5. Yes, people, a fully convertible rear-wheel drive coupe, so even if you had the temptation of booty in the back, it's practically impossible. The MX-5 features 157 horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. 157 horsepower? Look, the Mazda is not a fast car, but it was never meant to be either. It's just a ton of fun to drive. With a standard manual box, you get a very low ride, and that's got excellent handling in like every game. And especially if you're in the city or like a small suburb, you don't need to go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds with 100 brake horsepower. Like, who are you trying to kill? All in all, the Mazda MX-5 is a fantastic, fun driving experience. I highly recommend. Inside though, it's, you know, it's a Japanese car, so the parts are there, put together. There's an infotainment system as well, you know, proper roadman level speaker system for all your... But as far as luggage, keep it soft, fellas, because there's not a lot of space. If you do travel with harder suitcases, you may need to put them elsewhere. Also, a thing to note, the older models of the MX-5 are rising in value, so get in. This is freaking hilarious right now. This is funny. Okay, stop. You like the idea of the MX-5, but you want just a little bit more parts, like a proper roof and a cabin. Then how about the BRZ? The BRZ is the kind of car you give to your grandchildren who may end up driving a Q50. It's part of the evolutionary tree. I've seen it in my field studies, but regardless, this car is also a great car, especially if you're more inclined to customization. But more than that, you're supporting 205 horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that can get 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds, and honestly, this is where I like to be. Remember the car meets I was talking about in the beginning? Well, my favorite car meets are in Toronto, and I have a few friends with, BRZs, all fully customed, and they are proper rippers. I'm the designated photographer, so you'll see me whipping around car meets in my Vespa if you're ever in town. Inside the BRZ, we do have a little bit more than the Miata, with fully bolstered seats and a proper steering wheel and tachymeter that's kind of coming out of the 911 setup. I don't want to, compare it too much, but it's there. Also, the back seats, which, forget I said back seats, but they do fold down, so you get a lot more cargo space than you would with the Miata. So overall, if you don't need or want a convertible top, this will probably be the next best car you can get. Okay, let's level up one more time. More power, more style, more money. Maybe. Okay, maybe. The GR86. We're talking about the GR86. It's a newer car, but it's not that expensive. It also has like a cult following of like tech nerds and keyboard enthusiasts. That group of kids. And it also peaks at 220 horsepower, and for a car this light, that's going to be super exciting. Since it is a rear-wheel drive coupled with all of Toyota's tech, there are tons of different modes, including like a drift mode, which lets the back end loose, and you're doing the turns with, I've never drifted in my life, I swear to no one. It's also a really low car, and the suspension is quite firm, so you do get much better handling and all over a super responsive feel, but you lose some of those comforts you get with a more smooth ride and luxurious interior. I mean, it's Japanese, so the plastics aren't going to be the greatest, and there's going to be some noticeable cabin noise as well. Just like the BRZ, there is a second row for seating, but it's again something you want for duffel bags instead of humans, unless you're trying to cargo humans in duffel bags, in which case you should consider Acura TLX in all black with chrome accent. Fully tinted, of course. Yeah, black wheels. You have yourself here a mafia boss on a budget, a rather economical fiend. Now we're getting away from some of the super sport we found in the previous section, and we're moving into like Drake territory. You guys know, like, Drake's first car was a TLX. Now look at him. What did I say about your first car setting you up for your entire future? Exactly, it was the TLX. Drake wouldn't be here if you didn't buy a TLX. The connections are there. The TLX is a very reliable car, and it features a lot of luxury tech, in the interior is very nice. You have fully heated leather seats, an integrated infotainment system, a sunroof option, super comfortable suspension, a very quiet interior, and a car that has a lot of character on the outside as well. Now, this is a mid-size luxury sedan, so you are paying more coin for it, but you are getting quite a bit of a modern car as well. And there are a lot of cars in this price range, from the 3 Series, the Lexus something, the Toyota Camry, the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Point is, all of these cars would be highly cautioned because you're a first-time car buyer. And if you do have $20,000 budget, I recommend checking out my last video on the best cars under 20K. But you kind of want to stay away from the Germans. If you're just starting out. Okay, last car, the last best first car you can buy in 2023. Drum rolls, please. Let me say a few honorable mentions. I wanted to get this in, okay, because there's so many cars in my mind that I want to give to the people. I want to give a few real mentions to the bandos real quick in it. First car, the Subaru WRX. You knew it was coming at some point. It's an honorable mention. Look, the WRX, although it's cool, there's a lot of maintenance issues. The boxer engine, you're gonna have to go to specialized mechanics. You can't really do much to that at home. Well, if you're starting out, maybe stay away from the WRX. It also looks disgusting. Stop it. Okay. Come on now. Is it wobbly eyes? Stop it. The Honda Civic Type R. This is one I can recommend if you have the money for it. I mean, that means your proper student budget. Like, that's like Ivy League student budget at that point. But I love the Type R. It's a Honda, Japanese reliability mixed with proper race DNA. I love it, okay? I'm also mentioning the Kia Stinger here. Again, this is for the kids with the deep pockets, but it's also a very, very nice car with proper road presence. And the final car, this is one of the cars that was under 20K in my last video, the Dodge Charger. This is where you don't care if you live or die, but you want to die racing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not condoning any behavior, but this is a bad option. Let's just say it's in the honorable list, but it's a very bad option. Okay, look, when I was young, 18, 19, 20, I was running around like crazy on the I-95. I wanted speed, and you'd find me 2 a.m. running around with, you know, other night runners, just randomly racing some 2005 S-Class with crazy engines, and that was life. But now I'm more relaxed, you know, I like my back, I'm 23, and it's time to call my tits. So I like a more relaxed, ultra luxury, good stereo, very sinister road presence. That's kind of where I am at right now, okay? So the last best car for your student budget that you can buy, in my opinion, and fam, I had a very hard time coming up with this one. Like, you know, you can go to the traditional best first cars, which I kind of already went over, or I can throw you a curveball. Like, I can throw you something that you did not see coming at all. And I decided to just do that. The new Genesis G70. Let me explain. For your first car, this is easy to maintain. It's cheaper to fix than something like a Mercedes or a BMW, and it looks gorgeous. Okay, stop it. If you think it's not gorgeous, give it some time. Give it some time. I felt like this with the G-Wagon. Disgusting car. And then it grew on me like crazy. I know this is going to be a polarizing pick. You know, G70, Hyundai, what is this Genesis thing came, what the Relax, okay? Genesis has been doing some things that I absolutely love, and I really love their SUV range. Now, while it's not a car that I would be driving simply because if you can afford the cost and implications of a Beamer or a Merc, go with the Beamer or Merc. But if you can't, this is my absolute favorite mid-size sports sedan. And if I see you on the road with this, if I see you on the road, I'ma blow you a kiss. How about that? And honestly, the colorways, I'm gonna give it, okay, the Genesis rims, I'm not a fan of these rims. But black, white, I saw one the other day in like this really dark navy blue. That was gorgeous, that was gorgeous. Okay, we ended up on a very polarizing topic, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This has been the Wangan Loop, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, peace.